Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
And here we go!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. I'm John Hammerly. That's Grayson Jenkins. Today's episode, it's a little late, but we're gonna be breaking down the Packers and the Saints draft classes. Giving our thoughts. Each pick, good pick, bad pick, but a little late, but we're excited to get into it. But we hope your week's going well. Me and Jake's been pretty busy these past 2 weeks. That's why the content's kind of been a little slow. Finals, we're both in school, so Jenks, I think you had your finals last week. I have it this week, so yeah. How are your finals going?
Dude, finals killed them, but the biggest thing that I've had going for me is the Thunder games. That's what I've been really tuning into. The Thunder's going off right now.
They're going to lose to
lost
Minnesota.
Thunder in 6 against Minnesota. But hear me out. Shea lost the MVP today. I think he was robbed a little bit. 50, 30-plus point games. Led the youngest team to the 1 seed ever, I think it's a little bit biased towards Jokic, but
yeah, and half of his points are like off the free throws. But yeah,
it's like he averages like 8 free throws a game.
Free throw god,
dude. Luka averages more free throws a game, and people like just sweep it under the rug.
I mean, I know the Thunder won the other night, but like Kyrie and Luka did not play well.
Yeah, because they got Luke Dort guarding them.
They did not shoot good. So I'm just saying that's not gonna happen for a 7-game series.
Luka's seeing Lou Dort in his dreams right now tonight. So that's all I gotta say about that. Hammer, how are your finals, bud? Or how are they going? End of the school year.
Pretty good. I had 2 tests, 1 paper. So tests are done, and the paper is due on Friday. So
go. That's what we like, an academic weapon. And for those who don't know, Hammer's also a coach. He had a parent meeting today. Hammer's a big boy. He likes to talk.
Big parent meeting.
Talk to parents and everything. It must be awkward, dude. Being like a 21-year-old, just talking to a bunch of parents. Like, yeah, I'm coaching your kids. I'm taking care of you.
Not much talking. I don't know. I got other coaches. So.
Oh, they take okay. Well, anyways, Hammer. Big talk of the day is going to be the Packers and Saints draft breakdown. So I'm going to pull up the picture here of the draft breakdown or draft class, and let's just go through it. So Hammer, let's see. Sorry, I didn't load properly. But Hammer, I think overall the Packers had a solid draft class. I think you're definitely happy. I liked some of their picks, and there were some that I didn't necessarily love. So let's get right into it.
Yeah,
first,
let me just make a statement first. I'll talk you about the Packers drafts. On paper, the names, they're not as sexy. They're not as big. Some fans don't like him, right? The first-round pick, I think we're all expecting a top DB, someone like that. You get Jordan Morgan, who was kind of late first, early second. So the names aren't the biggest, this and that. But the Packers, for what they like high athletic profiles, guys who are versatile, who could play many roles. And they did that. Everyone they got, they have that ability. They have those traits. So for the Packers, like they got their guys, and they got guys where, they had some need. They needed offensive line depth. They got 3 offensive linemen. They needed linebackers. They got 2. They needed a change of pace running back for Josh Jacobs. They got that. They needed safety depth with McKinney, because McKinney's really the only safety on the roster. So what do? They go out and they get 3 guys who can play in the nickel as well. Brian Gutekunst said he wanted to get back to drafting quarterbacks. He took one in the 7th round, which was a nice value pick, and that other 7th round pick is sneaky good. But really good draft class. I think I'll give my final grade at the end when we're done breaking down. But like for the Packers, for what they like, for their needs, I would give it like an AA-. I think they did really well. But yeah, let's get started.
So obviously Jordan Morgan was the first pick. I'm sitting there texting Hammer during the draft. I'm like, Hammer, who you guys going here? I think Tyler Guyton either just got picked or was still available, and that's kind of who we talked about for like if he was still available. Cooper DeJean was still there. There were a couple guys floating around that like that's who we thought the Packers would go, and they ended up going with Jordan Morgan. Hammer, what were your thoughts in that moment?
Yeah, I thought Jordan Morgan was a little bit of a reach. But a lot of tackles went in the first round, so they were coming off the board quick. And if you like someone, you got to go out and get your guy. I like Jordan Morgan a lot. He's versatile, right? He could play tackle and guard, and that's just attractive to the Packers. That's what they like. I think they value a guy like him more than Tyler Guyton.
Yeah.
And to that too, right? And then if you're talking about offensive lineman and versatility and athletic profile, hey, what happened to Graham Barton? And Barton went the pick after, and I feel like Green Bay chose Jordan Morgan is because they're not drafted an interior offensive lineman in the first round. Yes, Graham Barton can play tackle, but he's not going to be a tackle in the NFL. He won't. Can he play there in a pinch? Yes, he can. But he's a center guard, and Morgan is your tackle who can play guard. So the value is just greater from Morgan, even though coming out as a prospect, Graham Barton might be higher. But I like the pick. Got to protect Jordan Love, right? He's your guy. Protect him.
Yeah.
I'll make these picks go by quick, but I just want to talk about the Jordan Morgan pick, right? And like I said, hey, they're about to give Jordan Love a massive contract. You got to make sure he's upright. So I like the pick.
Yeah. Next pick, Edgerrin Cooper, solid linebacker. We talked about him a lot, and obviously Hammer loves the pick. So what you got about that one, Hammer?
Yeah, this is a good pick. Green Bay was at 41. They traded back 4 spots with the Saints, and they picked up an extra 5th round or 6th round pick, I believe. I like the pick. He was the best linebacker in the class. Packers, this is one of their bigger needs, along with safety, and they nailed it. He's awesome. He flies around the field, sideline to sideline, hits hard, and him and Quay Walker are going to be 2 really athletic sideline to sideline linebackers. So I'm excited to see that pairing.
Yeah, especially as a young guy coming in that can already fly around. That's
what I say. If you want to learn about Edgerrin Cooper, go watch his highlights against Alabama. He was unbelievable. He had 10 tackles, 3 sacks, forced fumble, best player on the field against amazing competition. So, get to know him by watching that tape.
Yeah, definitely a plus. My favorite pick for the Packers coming up, Javon Bullard, a guy who I said during our safety review video, I loved him, loved watching his film, everything about him. So, Hammer, what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, I loved it. Good value. I like it. End of the second round. He was a guy who, best safety in the class. Could be. I know you like Tyler Nubin too. The thing is, the athletic profile and the versatility doesn't really match up with Javon Bullard. But yeah, I mean, Georgia defender, Duke can hit. Duke can play deep safety. He could play the nickel. I think he's best served as a nickel, which is maybe why Green Bay got 2 other safeties. We'll see. But I love the pick, versatile, and just a dog. His reaction when he got drafted was awesome. So I'm excited to see him and McKinney.
And he was instantly like, I'm ready to work. Like, he just wanted to get in there with the Packers, and that's something you would love to see. Next, you got Marshawn Lloyd in the 3rd round. Marshawn Lloyd is a guy who can do a little bit of everything at the running back position. Definitely an exciting pick. Hammer, what are your thoughts?
I like this pick a lot. I was jumping out of my seat when I saw this pick. He was my favorite running back in this class. You watch his tape. I think he's probably got the best tape. He is so fun to watch. He can reverse fields, spin move, juke move, everything. His acceleration, he was a lot of fun to watch. I'm surprised they picked him though. 3rd round. I knew Green Bay was getting running back, but I was thinking kind of 4th or 5th. 3rd round, kind of high, but I love the pick. I can't wait to see him and Josh Jacobs. I think it works really well together, and he's pretty good receiving back as well. So
it could be kind of like a situation of like the Saints boom and zoom back in 2017 days when it was Alvin Kamara, and Mark Ingram, kind of like a similar duo there. A little guy who can do a little bit of everything, and a guy that can get his nose a little dirty for you. Next, you got Tyron Hopper, another linebacker, this time out of Missouri, a guy that's a little bit of a ball, it can kind of ball hawk a little bit. I know that's one of his traits, but Hammer, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, he's good. He gets around the ball. This, to me, was the one pick I was a little head scratching about. I like him, but I don't know. To me, I thought this was the big reach. I didn't think Jordan Morgan was that big of a reach. I don't think Jordan Morgan would have gone out of the 1st round, to be honest. I really don't. Hopper, though, was a reach. I think you could have got him in the 4th or 5th. He's good. He's a really good blitzer. He's athletic. He's around the ball. Thing about him though, and he plays linebacker, he misses a lot of tackles. He plays 100 miles an hour, runs to the football. He's got the size. He looks good. He's wearing 59. He's got the dreads. He looks like Devondre Campbell, who we just let go, who was an all-pro linebacker 2 years ago. The thing about him, though, he misses tackles. If he could clean it up, Green Bay got a steal. If he can't, he's a total bust because that's how you make your money. That's linebacking. Being a linebacker, you got to tackle. So his tackling is questionable, but he provides depth for a position that we needed, and I think there's some special teams value there as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, special teams are important too. Like people forget about that, but you find a guy that can go into special teams right away as a rookie, like even that is valuable. Next, you got Evan Williams, another safety out of Oregon, a guy who went under our radars. I know we didn't have him in our rankings, and he was taken above a couple guys that were on our rankings. So, what do you think about that pick?
Yeah, a little bit of a reach too here, but not as much. I think going into the draft process, he was kind of a big round guy, had a really, really good Senior Bowl and workout, and yeah, he's a guy that a lot of teams liked, and he moved up draft boards. That's why Green Bay traded up to go get him. I like him. He's versatile. He's more of a strong safety. He's really good, around the line of scrimmage. Before he was at Oregon, he was at Fresno State, where he was like a 2-time team captain. And that's another trend. A bunch of these guys on the list were team captains, so high character guys. And yeah, I like the pick.
Next, you got your lineman from Duke, not the one you wanted, but Jacob Monk from Duke. I believe is he a tackle or is he interior?
All the above.
All the above. Okay. So
this is a guy. Yes, this is a guy who can play all 5 spots. He's a 4-year starter at Duke. I think he's gonna be a fan favorite. He's like my favorite pick in the draft. Apparently, he's like allergic to I think he's allergic to snow, like cold water. Yeah, he's like allergic to it. Like I didn't even know that was a thing.
I'm looking this up.
You can look it up, but like that's like a thing. He's allergic. But yeah, plays all 5 spots. I like it a lot. People say it was a reach. I like him. I listened to the press conference. Like he's gonna get a really good personality. I think he's gonna be really good in the community, and he can fight for like a starting job along that interior offensive line. But yeah, he can play tackle as well. But I think he's really like a fan favorite. He's funny.
That is
Did
kind
you
of
look
wild.
it up?
Yeah, he is. He says he's allergic to cold water, but
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see if he's able to figure that out.
It's crazy.
Anyways, next pick is Katan Aladapo of Oregon State, another safety for the Packers.
Yeah, this guy's a really fun pick from Oregon State. Like Williams, he's really good along the line of scrimmage. He's versatile. He can play strong, free, and he's a hitter. Yeah, another good pick, right? And at this point, you're like, whoa, Green Bay took 3 safeties, but like, yeah, they needed depth. They had no one but McKinney and Anthony Johnson Jr., who was a 7th-round pick last year, but not a lot of confidence there. So they needed guys, and now they have 4 safeties who they believe can play all spots, interchangeable. So I'm excited to see these guys go to work.
Next, you got Travis Glover. I believe an interior lineman out of Georgia State, a little bit of a smaller school. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, we need an O-line depth. We got another guy. This guy could play guard and tackle as well. He's a really big dude. He's bigger than Morgan and Monk. So, just keep on adding to that O-line. Protect Jordan Love, baby.
And in the 6th and 7th rounds, they're kind of they're throwaway picks at that point. But you want to throw the dart at a guy that you think can hit. So it's going to be a solid.
And I'll say one more thing too. Green Bay has been one of the best teams for developing offensive line. They're really good. Like they can develop guys. John Runyon Jr. was a 6th-round pick. He just signed a $30 million deal with the Giants. Like that. Those are leftovers. Like you can have them. Like you know what I mean. So pretty good.
Anyways, next you got Michael Pratt. Something that was a surprise to a lot of people. I think he was after Spencer Rattler. He was like the quarterback after that.
It would be like Pratt, Milton. Yeah. So, but we're going to talk about Rattler because he went to the Saints. But yeah, QBs after the 1st round, they dropped, right? I mean, we were thinking Rattler would probably be a 3rd-round pick, 4th-round pick, drops. That means this guy's going to drop. He dropped to the 7th round. I like Michael Pratt a lot. Gutekunst, the Packers GM, said, I want to start drafting quarterbacks and, again, and start developing them because there's just so much value, right? I mean, you need a good backup. And even if this guy never touches the field, hey, that's good trade value. But he's good from Tulane. I like him a lot. and excited to see him complete with Sean Clifford for that quarterback 2 spot.
Yeah. And then next, your final pick of the draft it's going to be a little cringeworthy name-wise for a lot of Packers fans out there, but Kalen King. Not
Kevin King, what?
not related to Kevin King, but
Look, Kevin King was good for 2 years, and then injuries happened, and then confidence happens. He had a rough game, and sometimes as DBs, as a corner, you don't recover from that. That's what happened with Kevin King. He had all the talent in the world to be a good player. But yeah, Kalen King from Penn State. This is like the most fun pick in this draft. This is really interesting. Talk about a guy last year. Last year, this time, looking ahead to the draft, we were thinking like this guy was a first round pick, maybe the best corner in the class. And then he had a really bad 2023 season, lost confidence, and it just trickled, right? And went into every single game, wasn't playing good. Okay, that's going to hurt your draft stock. Now we're getting into, pre-draft process, right? The combine, pro day. He was not good. He didn't test good. That dropped him even more. So he falls to the 7th round. This is a guy a year ago was saying this guy's a first-round pick, right? Has a bad season, bad draft process. He falls to the 7th round. You take him a flyer because the upside is, hey, here's your starting corner, on the other side of Jair Alexander. Yeah. So I wish he was wearing 20 so I could just use my Kevin King jersey for him. But he's wearing 34, which is pretty ugly. But this is just an interesting pick. He's got a chip on his shoulder now. His press conference after he got drafted was it was sad. He was just crying the whole time. He was just pissed about going in the 7th round. So he's got a chip on his shoulder. I'm excited to see him throughout camp and preseason. But that's the draft class. I like it a lot. Versatility, athletic, got some dogs in the 7th round. We're protecting Jordan Love. Defense got stronger. Another weapon in the backfield. I'm giving this a B+.
I like it. But and anytime you can get 11 rookies in a draft class, something to be excited about. All picks are good. I mean, all picks are good picks to have. They might not pan out. You never know, but
yeah,
it's good to have picks. Anyways, we'll use that as a segue. It's the Saints draft class. Hammer, start it off.
Let's get right into it. So let's talk about 14. This was an easy pick. This was like a steal. He just fell in your lap at 14. Talise Fuaga from Oregon State, tackle. I love that pick. We were texting through the draft after every pick, and I was like, dude, Olu was the guy to the Saints, but he got picked early, and this guy was just falling. In my opinion, he's the second best tackle in the draft. So I was like, that's an A+, night one for the Saints. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm sitting there. Obviously, Hammer and I are texting, like you said. And Brock Bowers is falling down the boards. So I'm kind of like, Brock Bowers might fall to us. Hold up. Maybe we don't go tackle. Brock Bowers is available. He gets picked to the Raiders. That was a surprise to a lot of people. It was to me. I was like, holy shit, the Raiders just picked a tight end last year. So we're on the board, and I'm thinking it's Fuaga all the way. I just think it has to be. Otherwise, it's the Saints disaster, and we extremely messed up a lot. Anyways, we pick Fuaga, and I'm ecstatic. I think the guy is he's a great character for the team, and he has the dog mentality to be a great tackle in the league. And we needed a right tackle. Ryan Ramczyk is on his way out. I don't think Ramczyk plays another snap. I think his knee's gone. So I mean, it sucks.
David Bakhtiari. Yep.
Yeah,
happened to our guys.
It sucks, but it's what happens. It sometimes happens in the league. But Fuaga is going to come in right away. I think he's going to be a stud for the Saints, and he could end up being a similar type talent to Ryan Ramczyk. Another thing is his family was he has 100 family members sitting behind him on draft day. He's just sitting there. He's a big Hawaiian family, and so I trust the Samoan blood that he's going to be just a dog for the team.
Yeah, and then round 2, a trade with the Packers moves you up 4 spots to 41, and you select Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama corner.
Yeah, so this one I was surprised by this, if I'm being honest. So we had, I think it was pick 48, I want to say.
45.
Like
45.
Yeah, we had 45. We moved up 3 spots, whatever.
4 spots. Do some math.
Sorry, Hammer.
Unreal. I just said it. Whatever.
The thing is, I'm an accounting major. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'm education.
Kool-Aid McKinstry. Loved the pick. It was a little bit of surprise. I'm sitting there at work. I work at a movie theater, so I'm standing there serving some dude some popcorn. I see Saints have traded with the Packers on the TV behind me. I'm like, dude, I don't care about your popcorn anymore. I'm tuning into this. So I look up and I see Kool-Aid McKinstry. I'm like, holy shit! Like the Hammer and I raved about the guy, and obviously it was a little bit of a surprise because we didn't necessarily need a corner, but it fits what the Saints do. And any cornerback or defensive back that Dennis Allen takes, I'm going to believe in it. He's been turning these guys into studs all across the defensive backfield. So I trusted the pick, and I think Kool-Aid's going to be a star for years to come for us.
Yeah, I like Kool-Aid a lot. I think him and Terran Arnold, the two guys from Alabama, are the most NFL ready. So I'm excited to see what he can do with the Saints.
Yeah,
And then
real quick, Nick Saban did a whole entire speech basically about Kool-Aid being the best cornerback that he's ever had. So when Nick Saban gives you that kind of praise, it means a lot.
yeah, so don't suck. And then the Saints don't pick for the third round and the fourth rounds. They pick in round 5, and they choose Spencer Rattler from South Carolina. Let's talk about this pick.
So Spencer Rattler is definitely an interesting prospect. One, because he was the number 1 quarterback in the country heading into college. That started it. Then 2, he goes to OU, my team for college, and he gets basically replaced by Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams comes in, takes his job. Spencer Rattler's confidence plummets, everything like that. And then he goes to South Carolina, and he has a terrible O-line, not a great team around him, and he still has decent performances every single year, and he has plays where you're like, holy crap, that he has the talent still. He still has it. So a lot of people are thinking the reason he did drop so far in the draft was because of obviously he had a little documentary or whatever reality TV show on Netflix when he was in high school, and he's kind of like a douchebag. He's a high schooler. I'm not. He's the number 1 quarterback in the country at 17 years old. The pride is there. He has a lot of confidence in himself. I don't care how he's acting at 17 years old.
Cocky.
Yeah, he's humbled now. I think he's going to be better for it. And I think this is going to be a great position for him to possibly come in after Derek Carr, or even if he works his way up well enough, maybe he takes over during the season. You never know. I think it's a solid round 5 pick, all round 5, 6, 7. It doesn't really matter who you pick. You're just hoping that they pan out. So I'll take it 5 times out of 5.
And then you get a second pick around 5, and you take Bub Means, wide receiver from Pitt.
Yeah, so I like this pick a lot. Obviously, Michael Thomas leaving. You don't have that big physical kind of guy to go get the ball. Obviously, we're hoping A.T. Perry, the former rookie last year, he had flashes of that. We're hoping that happens this year. He becomes that Michael Thomas replacement. But Bub Means gives you just a little bit extra, backup and depth to possibly be that guy. Hammer's friend, Lappy, I think it's Nick Lappy, he plays for Pittsburgh. And so I texted him after this pick and I said, Lappy, what are we getting in Bub Memes? And he's texted me, and I quote, let me find it really quickly. He says, one second. He basically texts me back and says, dude is a unit. He's like, I said, Saints get a dog with Bub Means, and he's like, absolutely, dude's a unit. So something that a lot of Saints fans can look forward to, that aggressive kind of mentality, and he seems to be a nice guy. And also, I just want to say, the Saints draft class is filled with great names. So Bub Means, that's just a sick name.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, Kool-Aid, Bub. What are we doing here? This is awesome.
And then 5 picks later in the 5th round, another 5th round pick. You guys took Jalen Ford, linebacker from Texas. I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about Jalen Ford going into the draft. I really didn't. Linebackers, I think we kind of both slept on a little bit going into the draft. It wasn't an insane linebacker class, and it's not the most impressive position to pick. It never is. Linebacker positions and talent in college.
It's tough to get these guys right. Linebackers is really tough position to scout.
Yeah. So I had no clue anything about Jalen Ford. Then I started watching his tapes. Then I looked at his stats, everything like that. He's the glue of the Texas defense. And Texas defense is one of the best in the country last year. So if he can carry that into the Saints defense, learn under DeMario Davis for a couple years, I think it'll be a great fit for the Saints and should be a great pick in the future.
Next pick in the 6th round, you take Christian Boyd, all right, D tackle from Northern Iowa.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
This guy's a unit.
Another unit. Unreal.
He's huge, dude. He's huge. Like he fits the mold for Saints defensive tackles. They want the big run stopping kind of guy. I believe the guy is like 6'7", 6'8", something crazy, and he benched 38 reps. So that's insane. But the guy's a unit. I think obviously played at a smaller school, and I think sometimes he tries to just kind of use his size to get by guys, and he turns his shoulders a little bit too much. That's kind of why he fell to the 6th round. But he has upside, and that's what the Saints need in the 6th round at defensive tackle position. It's fine by me.
And with the last pick in the draft, you guys take Joshua Ezreem.
Yeah, Josiah is Ezerim, I think, or Ezreim. However it's pronounced, I don't want to. I'm probably butchering it. I completely understand that. A guy from a smaller school, Eastern Kentucky University, and he was one of the top graded pass blockers in the country. It was a smaller school, so obviously, like people are like, oh, it discounts a little bit because level of competition, things like that isn't the same. But in the 7th round, if this guy, you can coach him up just a little bit, even to be a solid pass blocker, even if it's that 6th O lineman, 7th O lineman on the depth chart, that helps the Saints. So I'm ecstatic with the pick, and I love our draft class. I'd give it. You know what? I'd give it an A. It covered all of our needs, and I think compared to what the Saints fans were expecting, I think it does the job. I think the Saints, like, we've been upset with our draft picks because we've been reaching for defensive linemen, reaching for different players. And this year we kind of fit all the needs, and we got good players in each pick. And we didn't trade up to do it, so I'm happy.
Yeah, nice. I think I gave it like an A- last episode.
Yeah,
so,
A- or A. I'm happy with either. So
yeah,
solid picks.
Yeah, 2 good draft classes, I think, and I'm excited to see these guys, go to work in training camp and the preseason. Who makes the roster? Who makes an impact for their teams this year and in the future. And then I gotta ask, favorite pick for the Saints?
It's definitely Fuaga, but then probably the second one's probably Rattler, just because like I could see Rattler possibly just like being the guy in the future. And I will say both of us had pretty solid undrafted free agency classes as well. I'm not going to go into detail on that right now because obviously we're running a little bit longer than we expected, but also I think that's kind of something to talk about during training camp. So
yeah, definitely. And thanks for asking, Jenks. But my favorite pick, Jacob Monk. Jacob Monk, the legend. Watch out,
Monk
dude.
is your favorite pick? Wow.
Who cares?
Really?
Who doesn't? I don't like my water cold anyways. Room temp.
Yeah, water temp's the way to go. Ice cold water when you're just like sitting in a room, like just
Jacob Monk doesn't like it. I don't like it. All right. It's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a fan favorite. Watch him at training camp. Me and Jenks are actually gonna go. We're gonna try to go to Packers training camp. Who knows? Maybe Jacob Monk rides my bike. Who knows?
I'll begrudgingly
not.
I'll begrudgingly be there, and I'll be supportive while I'm watching Saints highlights on my phone the whole time.
Hey, better be. Sleeping on the floor in the hotel.
You want to cuddle?
Jenks, this is going on YouTube, dude. You didn't even joke around. That's weird. All right, I'm not into that. All right, that's it.
You don't have to clear it up.
We're closing out now. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks, Jenks, for that really, that ending. Wow.
Loving community, I thought. Supports everyone.
All right. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jenks Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jenks Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week. Peace.
See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat and go Pack Go!